The views expressed by the hosts are their own and don't necessarily reflect the views of Caswell's Shooting Range, even though one of the hosts is an owner of Caswell's. And now, overlooking Phoenix and live from the Double Wide Network Towers, it's Caswell's Shooting Show. Caswell's Shooting Range is Arizona's premier indoor and air-conditioned shooting range, plus the ultimate source for using and owning guns. And now, with an eye always on safety, it's time to pull the trigger with your hosts of Caswell's Shooting Show, a couple of loose cannons, Paul Abella and Carol Ann Bergeson.
Good afternoon, Phoenix. Good evening, nearly, the way it is now. Good God.
Hello.
Isn't
Hello,
Halloween
everybody.
traffic a fun thing?
Oh, my goodness.
I've never seen Halloween traffic
Happy
before.
Halloween, everyone.
Ooh.
I hope everyone is being safe and sane out there.
Safe? Possibly. Ooh, that's a ghost.
But
They're good.
That's your ghost?
Ooh.
It's fantastic. Happy Halloween to everyone at Caswell's, and happy Halloween to all our listeners from everybody at Caswell's.
Oh, that's very good. I'm impressed.
Nice.
We have a Caswell's witch with us this
I
evening,
know.
this afternoon.
That's why I couldn't decide whether or not we wanted to play the Exorcist theme or the theme song from Stephen King's It. I don't know how you guys do with clowns.
I don't like clowns.
That's a bad plan. It's a good plan.
Oh, creepy. Honestly, that book destroyed me. I read
Really?
that book when I was a kid, and just ruined me.
Well, I can't watch Poltergeist.
No.
I
And
cannot watch Poltergeist.
not only that, but the girl's name is Carol Ann. It's really
There you go.
upsetting.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
I cannot watch. I can't watch Poltergeist, and I can't have a TV with interference on it.
I just talked to the little boy from Poltergeist, Oliver. Yeah. What's his last name? He's actually going to be here this weekend in Phoenix. You should go talk to him and say hi.
No, I shouldn't. It'll
Yeah.
scare me.
He's over at the FearCon out on the west side.
No, because my house was probably built on a cemetery. They've moved the body. They've moved the headstones, and not. But I know it's where I live.
But you're
I'm lucky about
related to a white witch.
This is true. Yeah, but she's pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Grace's costume for everyone that is listening is fantastic, handmade, and just put a tremendous amount of effort in. It looks fantastic. White witch, very fall foliage, nature-ish as well, and handmade leather hat.
Picture on
and-
Facebook later.
Yeah, very, very nice. And so this is the type of costume that if she would go into the range would be, very acceptable. It's the things like when you run and operate a shooting range and folks come in with full-on masks on, dead presidents and all that kind of stuff that makes us really, really nervous.
Tends to get really emotional really quickly.
Yeah.
I was excited because I was watching you guys pull up from the window, and I couldn't see the car you drive. I could see everything except the back seat inside the car.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, Paul's not reaching for the oh crap handle. She's driving pretty good. We're okay. And then your door opens and his door opens, and I see the back door open. I'm going, who'd they bring with? From my angle, that looked like a cowgirl hat and a poncho. I was like, the hot lady Clint Eastwood is walking into the studio today.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Could also go that way.
That works.
Fabulous.
I like this one much better, though.
she looks lovely. Look, she's got a very funny colour now as well. Have you noticed that?
Aw,
Bless her.
Grace.
She's turning away from the mic. She
you
wouldn't
have-
get on it anyway.
Do you have any idea how much trouble I'm in now?
Yeah.
So
After
much.
last weekend at Guntoberfest,
Yeah.
after spending time with you guys, I know exactly how much trouble you're in
Well,
right now.
and thank you very much for attending the sale.
It was fun. Are you kidding me?
Thank
Wasn't that a fun
you.
day?
It was fun.
Wasn't that a
yes.
fun day?
And thank you, everyone who was able to come down and say hello at the
Yep.
sale. We hope that not only were you able to sample some of the delicious fare
yeah.
that we
Yeah.
had,
Yeah.
from
From
Pigley's.
Pigley's.
Pigley's, thank you very much for donating.
Thank you, Janine.
Yes, and but the sale was a success. We had a lot of fun, and Josh, the producer, was down there spinning his 6 guns.
Yes.
Very cool and very difficult. We
Yes, I
found
can't
out
do it.
quickly.
I think I got the seal of approval from Levi.
You did. Well, you're still here. It's
Well,
always a
yeah,
plus,
I'm still here, but I mean, his house, his rules. He was the range officer at the time, and then out of nowhere, he just looked at me and went, "Want to see some gun spinning?" Like, oh crap! Way to put me on the spot. You got your tack glasses on. I can see your sidearm, and I can see about 4 knives sticking out of your pockets. I'm feeling real comfortable. I start spinning it, and he's like, "That's legit."
Yeah.
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 And then he turned and walked away, didn't he?
He did. He was
Yeah,
like, "That's really legit." Of course, it's kind of like when I was in the Corps, doing drill, and I was like, "Yeah, but this isn't an M1, an M16, or an M14," and he went, "Yeah, I couldn't do that. Neither could you. You shouldn't try." And then he walked away.
Yeah.
That's Levi. Yeah. But it was a really great day, wasn't it? A very successful sale.
It was.
Lots and lots of
thank you
interesting
very
things
much
going
to
on.
the vendors that attended.
Yeah. Thank you to Lake and Offhand Gear and
Raven Crest
Raven
Tactical for the knives.
Andrew from
LT.
Oakley. Andrew from Oakley.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
And we already mentioned Offhand Gear.
Yes,
and,
Sandy.
Yeah. So we had a number of folks. Bulletproof Vest.
Yes, Tom Nardone.
Yes.
Yes, Tom. Thank you, Tom.
Fantastic showing, and all the vendors were, I'm hoping, pleased. So we're going to look forward to having them again down there. And it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun for us to be able to schmooze with the customers, and Josh being down there for gaining some interest in seeing if we can do some cowboy action, quick draw for the ladies, a class, this type of stuff, which is fantastic. So thank you very much.
Keep watching
was a pleasure.
Keep watching the newsletter. There'll be some interesting things coming up in the next few months.
Yeah.
We have some things in the pipeline now.
So
Do I get to know any of the other secretive stuff, or do
Yes.
I have clearance?
It depends if you send me a nice email that says, "Can I know these things, please?"
Well, I send you emails, but you never respond.
I do sometimes.
You respond to everybody else, but not me. I understand. It's not a.
Oh
it's
my
not a
goodness.
personal thing.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to name
I'll
drop
get
again.
Grace to give you a hug later.
I'm going to get smacked before this episode's over.
Go-
Dan Furby.
go-
Is that how you pronounce his last name?
Correct.
The
Yeah.
gunsmith that came in for Accuracy Speaks. That guy laughed at every single one of my corny jokes. So did Grace. So I'm happy.
And actually, for everybody listening, we have not had a gunsmith for about 6 months. And Accuracy Speaks is a well-established gunsmithing service out of Rio Salado and out at Usury Pass. And they are opening up a satellite operation at Caswell's. And they are due to they came in on last Saturday for a Guntoberfest to help promote and say that they were coming in. So we are very excited about this relationship, and we are very excited, especially for all of our customers, to be able to have a gunsmith at the range again. So it's been a little bit of a challenge having to kind of manage folks and make our best recommendation to other gunsmiths in the area. So we're hoping that worked out well. We really appreciate the opportunity to work with other people, but we really need a gunsmith in the range. So Accuracy Speaks is the satellite. They're calling it Gunsmithing Light. So they're not going to be doing any heavy machinery type of thing. We can do that work. They will outsource it to their home shop out at Rio. But Dan Furby will be the gentleman who will be doing this at Caswell's. And for those of you listening that may recognize that name, Dan is also the match director at Rio for the Mystery Mountain 3-gun match that happens every year. So he's also former law enforcement, and so he has a lot of experience. And he and the owners of Accuracy Speaks, Derek is one of those. They recommended him to come out to be able to do that, and they've been moving in all week. So we've been hooking up internet, and they've been moving in all their equipment and workbenches and things like that. So it's very exciting. It's
And
very
very
exciting.
heavy equipment it was
Did
as well.
did the cot make it in?
Can't.
His
yes.
assistant, the other gentleman, it was very cowboy the way he was talking. Suddenly just said, "If I'm not at the counter, kick the door. I'm taking a nap in the back." And I went, "Oh, I'm bringing my 6 guns to you."
Yeah.
That's coming.
That guy, if it was there was only the 2 gentlemen
Yes.
last, Dan and Bob.
Bob.
Bob's also one of the gunsmiths that work out at Rio, so he came down to help promote on that Saturday. just a fantastic individual, extremely knowledgeable, has been a gunsmith for 25 years, and as large as the firearms industry is, the gunsmithing industry is very small, tight-knit community. So they all know each other. There's tons of stories and, kind of elbow in the ribs type of chatting and, that kind of stuff. So, which is a lot of fun. And they already have an established reputation where they can bring customers to us. And we have a ton of customers that are really looking forward to having a gunsmith. So we are very excited about a win-win type of relationship, partnership with them moving forward. So, it's good timing as well. As we start to get busy, we're in the snowbird season, and, moving forward, kicking off we love Guntoberfest for that reason. We created that holiday event, that sale event for Caswell's because it's a springboard into, yay, the summer's done, right? Yeah. We're finally out of the summer and it's Hallow Thanksmas season.
I suggested Black Friday. Black Friday,
Really?
the range open for 24 hours. That got shot down fairly quickly. Excuse the pun. That got shot down dramatically quickly.
Well,
fact.
because
Would have been a good idea.
well, we could do it absolutely,
Yeah.
and it's still on the table for discussion. My main concern is safety, as usual, and some crazy soccer mom in at 3 a.m. Blowing off some steam because she's been standing in line for 27 hours. Is not appealing to me whatsoever.
We could walk up and down the queue at Best Buy. With
Goodness.
signs. Gun range open.
That would be perfect.
That'd be good, wouldn't
Black Friday,
it? Yeah.
come into Caswell's, and we'll put targets downrange.
Yeah.
Pick the top 5 most popular kids' toys that everyone's waiting in line for.
And
do a
shoot at
raffle
them.
and let them shoot
yeah.
them.
That's a good plan.
Xbox One,
Yeah.
PlayStation 4,
That's
whatever
working for
little
me.
Cabbage Patch doll. Garbage
Anybody
Pail
listening
Kid.
that wants to donate one of those toys so that I don't have to stand in line, we'd be happy to accept. We are at 856 East Isabella in Mesa, Arizona. Please
I
come
will
by.
thank you and shake you by the hand. And you get to try and shoot it as well.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's a great
Oh,
idea.
That would be awesome. I wish you could do explosives in the range. I wish you could.
We do too, actually. So we've had a zombie target down there that we used for a prop for the bulletproof vest, so
Yes.
that we could do demos. And we've had more folks ask if we sell the zombie target than anything else, really. So it generated a ton of interest. Well, so I jump on the website and start looking at, can we start bringing these in wholesale to be able to sell them to the public? Because we all think it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And they'll
Gotcha.
take hundreds and hundreds of rounds. They'll take hundreds of rounds.
What's it made out of?
It's like a
It's like a hard expanded polystyrene.
plastic type
stuff.
of. I will have to get you the actual.
You could-
I can't even
you could
say
probably
the
mold
name.
it at the shop and make your own.
And we chatted about that as well, creating, we know how to make ballistic gel, and being able to do that to show customers, and that was part of the purpose of the zombie. We needed something fun that we could shoot at that didn't create a huge mess in the range, didn't put anybody in jeopardy with ricochet, that kind of stuff. So. Then it branches off to the brainstorming thing, right? So we're talking about ballistic gel and being able to really show customers like this is what happens, and which oddly enough it may be I didn't plan it that way, but maybe a good segue into the Ed Santos class
Absolutely.
that we are going to
Absolutely.
be offering. So I'm hoping that we're going to be able to get Ed on the line here.
With any luck, we should, I suspect, because Ed's a good man like that.
And to just further elaborate and explain why I mentioned that, Ed Santos will be teaching at Caswell Shooting Range with over a 2-day seminar in December, the 6th and the 7th. And we are offering 2 classes through Ed. One is the terminal ballistics, and the other is combative handgun skills. Now, the terminal ballistics is a course designed to provide scientific and practical answers to how bullets cause trauma. And, that's something that, that I would like to do with the ballistic gel. to be able to show and the bullet resistant glazing on windows, so that we can prop examples up there. But this terminal ballistics class with Ed includes like, direct trauma versus oxygen deprivation, physiological factors of high stress, defensive shooting, ballistic misconceptions, how various calibers affect tissue, lethal force considerations, projectile evolution, projectile incapacitation parameters, et cetera, et cetera. Primitive central nervous system and gunshot trauma first aid. So this is a very, very interesting class, and there's going to be a lot of graphic material that will be shown. But the information itself, I think, is invaluable.
Well, I was reading something the other day on the internet about bullet wounds and people that think that if you get shot with a gun, you're immediately going to die and like fly back 6 feet. And the fascinating thing was this guy was a paramedic. He was an ex-military paramedic.
Oh, I read that. Yeah, I read that as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he said he has, I think one from a handgun. Once in his life, he'd come across a handgun. A guy that had been shot with a handgun and had died immediately.
Yeah, he was a field medic.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he was saying in his piece that only on one occasion did he ever find anybody that had been shot with a handgun caliber that had not been able to either walk, crawl, move away,
right.
or get another shot off, or they survived it.
Yeah.
The only thing that he said the only thing that he'd ever come across that was not a first time kill was a 308. Rifle.
Yeah.
That's the only thing he'd ever found.
So, and I think a lot of that is, and I'd like to do a little bit more research on that, but these were, a lot of these were through and through wounds from a smaller caliber, like a 9mm. And even a .223 round for a rifle, he said, pass through. Yeah. Now, if you have a hollow point round, then you're talking about a different story. So, you create the purpose of that is upon impact, the bullet actually kind of flowers out and expands, and it creates a lot of shredding damage as the bullet rotates through the body cavity.
And it creates a void as well, doesn't it? As it travels.
It does.
That's what damages the organs as it goes
Correct.
through.
It kind of pulls everything with it and shreds it along the way, like having a mobile blender.
And what was interesting to me as well, he was saying that the .223 round that the military used, which is supposed to tumble, as I understand it, as it goes through the body, he's never come across one that has. At any point in any wound he's ever seen in the military or otherwise, he's never seen any .223 round tumble. And
normally, when you look at a target that is obviously had the round that's tumbling, that's not a good thing, right? You can it's supposed to go straight, and not be tumbling through the air like a barrel. But so the other class aside from the terminal ballistics is the combative handgun skills. And what interested me most about this class is it combines a number of elements that we offer at Caswell's in separate courses. But Ed has a really nice way of putting it all together in one class. So it will go over, obviously safe gun handling and firearm manipulation. But now, in addition to that, it'll be advanced defensive shooting, one-handed manipulation, the body's natural flinch reaction, which a lot of times we just call anticipation. And then really fun stuff like counter ambush and moving in multiple target engagement and 360 degree movement, threat interaction, less than lethal force options, post-incident actions and responsibilities and that kind of stuff. So we have a number of these elements that we offer as separate classes, and you can really flesh these out and do 3-4 hours at a time. So it'll be really interesting to see how Ed is able to put this all in one class, and because obviously we can all talk for hours about this stuff, and it's very hard. We for instance, we offer a 4-hour CCW class as kind of a refresher. There's no shooting time involved, but I mean, we could talk 4 hours on just the law and legal aspect. And a lot of times that's what happens with that 4-hour CCW is we're going over, the repercussions. So it's not a recommended class for folks that are just brand new to CCW. This is more of a refresher type of thing. And, we all go through it every year. Just because the law changes and that kind of stuff. So
it's a very interesting class it brings out things that you don't expect. I certainly didn't when I did it. And
just the CCW in general.
I did the 8 hour, and it's just the things you just really don't expect. Just to have no idea, like coming new to shooting, obviously, and that's where we sell people who've never had a gun. They will say to us, "Can I carry this concealed down?" And you say, "Well, yes, you can legally, but you need to take a class. Whether you have to or you don't have to, you really, really should."
The information is invaluable. Understanding what your risk and the burden is of that responsibility. So we highly recommend the training is super important, and that's something that we're focusing on as a range, especially the end of this quarter and moving into next year. One of the things that we launched for Guntoberfest was. And this will be a permanent change, is 25% off all membership packages. So it is a fantastic deal for the value that you receive. And this is something that we've investigated incredibly so with regard to our competition, what other ranges are offering, and what kind of services and perks that the membership includes. So, we're very excited to be able to launch the 25% off all membership packages. And as we move forward into, through this last quarter of the year and into the first half of next year, we're really going to be focusing on increasing our memberships and training. And, we have a 3-tiered segment at Caswell's where we have the shooting range, we sell firearms and accessories, and we have the training component. Well, we've seen a drop off in training, especially over the last year or so. And, as we take a closer look at it, we're not really offering anything really different than anybody else is. We do offer a considerable amount of volume more than other ranges. And that's not to say that what they're offering is bad either. But, we all do the introduction to firearms. Yeah. We all do, fundamental shooting skills. And then we all do like the higher level stuff, which is, specifics to automatics or revolvers or rifles or shotguns or low light or shooting from barricade, that kind of thing. So we really are making a concerted effort to offer something different to
we've
customers.
Experimented with some of the classes.
We have.
The Build an AR-15 class is massively popular. I was looking at figures yesterday, and we've done, I think since we've been running it for 6 months, we've done over 30 people. No, we've done over 30, that sounds really bad. We had 30 people through the class who've built their own ARs. And they've all loved it. They come in, they pay the price for the class, which is, and at the end of the second class, they walk away with a working AR-15. And there's only, I think, 2 people who've not said, well, I want to buy loads of other stuff because I want to make it my rifle. And that's what's so nice about it. And people love that. So we're moving into more tailored classes, more unusual stuff that people don't necessarily expect. So we're now doing ladies-only self-defense classes. They started last Sunday.
Well, and actually, it's not just it's not just women only. We will absolutely offer it as women's only, but the first class ended up being just women and one gal's husband, which was kind of fun because there were.
He's a very smiley man.
Yeah.
Are you going to cap it? No singles?
Yeah. We probably should. But this is a class that we're really trying to pay attention to what our customers' needs are and provide a solution to that. So an example of that is the family class that we're offering. The main focus of that is to help how to teach your kids. So we're teaching parents how to teach their children the message of gun safety and how to deal with that, especially with regard to reality versus video games. And that is a huge component in our society right now where kids don't appreciate the reality of that. So
And again, it's reality versus theory as well, because I watched a documentary where this came from in February, where they put some kids and adults through a class, through the NRA class, that said to the kids, if you find a gun, leave it alone and go and find an adult. So they then took the same kids, put them in a classroom with a box with a gun in it, and they just picked the gun up and pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
They walked straight out of the class, because it's not realistic to tell a 2-year-old, if they find something shiny, leave it alone. That's
Right.
not realistic.
Right. So it's how do you teach your kids that message? And right now we're trying to we're running putting the fine tuning touches on it, and we're trying to get some feedback from some local elementary schools and junior high schools with the principals and that kind of thing for customers that have volunteered to say, hey, I have a good relationship. Do you mind if I present this and help you tweak it a little? Because I think this is a fantastic idea. So we're really trying to be comprehensive in that aspect and offer the correct information. So, we teaching the parents how to teach the kids. And then on the second part of that segment, the parents bring the children in as well. So under supervision, we get to help them say, hey, this is the message that you're teaching your kid. Now go ahead and teach them right here while we're watching so that we can help as well. So the class that we offered on another good example of a class that we have created based on our customers' requests is this home defense class. Yeah. And we've have 2 of our range officers, one who is former Gilbert PD, and the other who is
former everything,
former Special Forces. And they're out on the range a lot, so they talk to a lot of people. And there's always been the request of how do I do this? And they do a lot of private instruction as well, because there's a lot of ladies that come to the range and they say, well, I don't really feel comfortable being in a class. Well, that's why we offer private instruction. You get that one-on-one time. You don't have to worry about anybody else judging you or, looking at you like, oh, she doesn't know anything. Like, we don't do that anyway. But it's a great opportunity to really get that hands-on one-on-one experience. Well, we have a number of, and just randomly, about 15 ladies all asked the same question throughout the week. And these are ladies that come on a regular basis. So we started really paying attention to what the question was. And our 2 range officers, John Middleton and Ray Terry, actually built the class based on their experience, their life experience, and the message that we teach, gleaning some other things from some of our other classes, and creating from scratch a new class that not only goes over gun safety and gun handling techniques, but creating situational awareness in the home. And if your house is broken into, do you have a plan? How do you execute it? Do you have children in the house? Where is your safe room? So it helps to at least start a basic understanding and implementation of how to create this in your own home environment. And today I reviewed the surveys that we give out at every class, and I'm sitting in front of the instructors, and I said, "All right, how'd you get them to give you all high marks? I mean, I know you guys are great, and you're super cute, but come on."
I wouldn't call John super cute.
Oh, they're great. They're both fantastic.
I wouldn't call him cute, but
that's probably a good thing. He's probably going to appreciate that.
I hope so. Yeah, he breaks my range on a regular basis.
He does. The one Elaine always goes down when he's there, but they got stellar marks, and I always encourage our instructors because to implement things that we don't want to deviate too far outside the message. That we all teach the same message, whether it's the cashier, the salesperson, the range officer, an instructor, me, the sales manager. We all teach the same message. So the customer traveling around the store never ends up in a class saying, well, this person told me this way and this person told me this way. Each instructor is also encouraged and is empowered to say, I really want to implement this because I think it's going to be a really good thing. So one of the things that they added to the class on Sunday that we hadn't discussed was a moving target. So they place the target downrange, and the student has to start at low ready and shoot at the target as it's moving home toward them. And so that's the best. What they were trying to simulate is if somebody was to do this to you and run at you, because then we start going over the 21-foot rule. And if you can look at any YouTube video, and there is a person can get to you within 21 feet faster than you can possibly imagine. It happens very quickly. So they did this, and, they had to go through the drill a couple of times because some of the women, I should say just some of the students, were surprised. Like, that happened so fast. And they, would shoot all over the place, downrange, but some missed the target. And they said, this is a really good example of how, it's very hard to simulate a terror-stricken situation.
For someone who doesn't realise how quick it is.
Correct.
When you come to Caswell's over the weekend, just send the target out to 20 feet and then press home.
Yeah.
And you'll be stunned how fast it comes back. Absolutely stunned. Especially on the rifle side where the lanes are slightly faster. You'll be stunned. It'll be back before you can even think about it.
Yeah.
And if I say to you, press that and turn it off while it's coming back, you won't be able to find the switch. It's that quick. It's literally that quick.
It's very fast. And so especially if you're not ready, standing there ready with your gun at the low ready in position, so it does happen that fast. And so all the surveys were, and that was something that was implemented, impromptu on Sunday, and it was a great drill to offer. But they, every survey on there was the class was way more than what I expected. The instructors were personable, knowledgeable. Everything was fantastic. And please do more classes with that moving target.
Absolutely.
It was great. So,
and if you're not getting the newsletter, get the newsletter because we've got so many classes coming up. We're redesigning basically the whole class structure into the first quarter of next year.
Yeah.
And that's what we're working on at the minute. And we're going to launch all this stuff over the next few weeks. Can't launch it all at once, it's too much. But we're going to launch it as we go into Christmas and into the new year.
And we'll still keep our core curriculum, because there's the basics, fundamentals that everybody needs to know. But we'd really like to offer some more things that generate some interest, and that's a lot of fun. It should be fun while you're learning how to protect yourself and be safe and all these things. So we're really looking forward to it.
It's going to be good.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so.
And I believe we're going to go to a break now, are we, Josh?
We can.
Yeah, we go to a break. Because I need to go and get some more water. God, I've run out of water.
You are parched today.
Actually,
it's not good.
Can you mention the phone number one more time? So if anybody wants to call in and has questions about the classes, that we would be able to discuss that.
We would love to get people on
can.
air. If somebody comes on air, we shall give you a prize over the weekend.
That would be great. Please do call
What
in.
kind of prize?
But see who it is.
Okay.
You can't call in your own show. You cannot call in your own show.
Yeah, just like you can't call a magazine early. 480-421-0640. That's 480-421-0640. Don't call and ask about a magazine.
Thank you.
I'll see you when you get back, then I'll be up all night, still cleaning this gun.
Caswell's, Mesa's premier air-conditioned indoor shooting range, has the largest selection of firearms and accessories in the East Valley. Highly trained, friendly staff instruct classes for any level, women and beginners included. Visit Caswells.com or come in just off US 60 in Stapley. You're listening to the Double Wide Network, where you can host your own radio show. If you're looking for a way to get out your message, welcome to the future. Dave Pratt's Double Wide Network offers you the opportunity to use our state-of-the-art studio to create your very own radio show. Our experienced and helpful production staff will help you every step of the way. Our free mobile app allows your listeners to take your show with them and play it live or on demand. Even if you're not in Arizona, we've got you covered with Skype technology so you can broadcast from anywhere in the world. Whether you're in it to grow your business, make a statement, deliver a message, or just have fun hosting your own show, the Double Wide Network can make it happen. The Double Wide Network always has your show ready to go. For more information, just visit us at doublewidenetwork.com.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
As long as I live.
As long as I live.
Several of us were working to rescue a family.
The house collapsed on top of the cellar door and trapped them.
We had to use Humvees and heavy machinery to move massive trees and debris.
We got them out.
We helped a lot of people out.
It felt good to know I could really make a difference.
Because I'm a citizen soldier in the National Guard.
Be there the moment your community needs you. Learn more at NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Arizona National Guard. Aired by the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
Learning to shoot is a valuable skill. Learn at Caswell's, Mesa's premier indoor shooting range. Fully certified instructors and highly trained staff are ready to help place personal safety back in your hands responsibly. Comprehensive training for all levels, plus new classes for women and beginners. Caswell's offers the largest selection of firearms and accessories in the East Valley. Come to Caswell's to train, shoot, and have fun. Visit us at caswells.com or just off the US 60 and Stapley Drive in Mesa.
That music always reminds me of a wedding.
Really?
It does, yeah. Because the one they play at the end when everybody was sitting down and I was drunk and used to fall on the floor. There you go.
Well, if you
things like
listen to
that.
the lyrics, it could be you at a wedding.
I'm going to listen to that later, and if it's bad, I'm going to phone you. At 3 o'clock in the morning to discuss.
You can find him online. It's Chip Hanna.
Okay.
Chip Hanna and the Berlin 3.
Okay, cool.
He's traveled Europe, so you may have bumped into him.
Probably. I've
Yeah.
bumped into most. We shall have a conversation about that next week.
He's a good musician. Used to jump off of buildings with me at Rawhide.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
More ahead of my time.
So what equipment would I have to have you jump off Caswell's in front of an audience?
Well, you'd have to have the proper kind of fall bag. That's only a single-story building, right?
Yeah.
So it would be foam, not air, because it's only, your roof is what, 20 feet?
Yeah, 25 feet, something like that. 25?
25?
Yeah, something like that.
I was normally doing 23, so
Okay.
It all depends. We'd have to measure it.
Okay.
You may be teetering on the edge of needing an airbag.
Okay.
If you had a lift crane, we could do better.
What else would you jump onto if it wasn't like a big airbag?
Well, there's foam bags that are like gym mats that are designed to actually push the air out.
Okay.
That's the big one that we jump into at the 6-gun at a Rawhide.
Okay.
There have been times, there was a guy I knew who did a science fiction film in full makeup, full prosthetic face, 3 hours in the chair, and he did 3 15-foot jumps at an angle to a steep decline, not incline, from an old movie balcony in an abandoned movie theater in Buffalo, New York, into cardboard boxes.
Wow.
See, I always wondered if that was real because sometimes you see the documentaries and the shows and even the cartoons and things that have the cardboard boxes. Yeah. And oh my goodness, having kids see anything like that, they're just going to pile up all the boxes their mom gets from Amazon and jump off the roof.
I now have a morbid terror of heights. Terrified of heights.
I'm not a big fan of it, but I respect it.
No.
The same guy who did that stunt, he's got a healthy, happy son, and he one day came home from work and looked right at his son, and his wife said, "Go see what your son's doing." Took all the sofa cushions and all the pillows and made his own fall bag and started doing it.
I used to...
Good form, though.
Well, as long as he's doing it right, then he shouldn't break anything.
Absolutely.
Correct?
I used to jump into water off cliffs years ago in the Ardèche Valley in France. About 110 feet
Really?
into water.
Belly flop?
No, I was actually quite good at it in the end. I didn't have a belly in those days. I looked quite cool. And
I looked quite cool.
I did. But I stood in, I'd climb up the cliff and the kids would climb past me because I was hanging on. My fingerprints are probably still in the cliff. And when you get to the top and you jump off, you take a big deep breath, you jump off, and as you hit the water, several minutes later, right, you have to breathe out. So as you hit the water, go down 50 feet, you've already breathed out.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that at the time. Yeah, that was fun. That was back in the day.
There's mathematics to doing that stuff.
I know that now.
Yeah, now.
I was 19. I think I was 19 then, something ridiculous like that.
So you guys are saying that you're revamping all the classes. So not only do you have Guntoberfest, and then you have all the holiday seasons coming up for sales.
We have a huge annual holiday sale in December as well.
Which, by the way, if anybody who is listening, if you come to Caswell's and walk in there over towards the back counters where the 1911s are and some of the ARs, there's a whole grouping of shells. If you are, and don't lie, you know you are, if you have an addiction to holsters when you're shooting single action or anything like that, I know where there is an abundance of concealed carry, hip carry, all kinds of cool, awesome, comfortable holsters. Don't go looking anywhere else. I've seen the promised land, and it is Caswell's aisle 1 and 2.
Thanks
to the gunsmith
That's
counter.
great.
We are the holster capital of the world.
I came in and
We
I went,
do have a lot of holsters.
yes, you do. You guys have a lot of holsters.
There's so many guns.
We have
There's
got
so
a lot
many
of
There
guns.
are. And the guns
Yeah.
that you guys can rent. I'm not shameless plugging because I'm going to, be working with them soon. I'm just
Absolutely.
shameless plugging because
So
there's a lot of cool stuff there.
Yeah.
We've got so many SIGs. We've got SIGs upon SIGs upon
Yeah.
SIGs. We've got a SIG X5. I want a
Really?
SIG X5 so
Yeah.
badly, but the Grace's face now that's saying I can't have a SIG X5. Isn't it? Yes, it
That's
is.
the
Yeah,
same
like
face that was her jaw was on the floor when you were talking about jumping off a cliff.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just yeah. I
Did
yeah.
anybody else listening to that? And I know I don't want to offend anybody or make anybody sick. Did anybody else picture him doing it in a Speedo?
He's
Now,
our, no,
it's funny you
we
should say
tried
that.
not to
It's
do
funny you
that.
should say- 'cause they were in a sexy little pair of blue Speedos.
And, of course, you don't forget about the shark tooth around the leather strap around his... He was that guy.
You were that
I
guy.
had a lime green wetsuit and a shark's tooth, and I had the lime green wetsuit to set the tan off because I looked so cool, and little bangles on my wrist and stuff. And my hair
Jumping
went blonde. And
into the English Channel.
no, this is in the Ardèche River in France.
Oh, in
So I
France.
was living in Spain at the time.
Ah.
Long story.
Oui,
Yeah,
oui.
I looked cool in those days. Unlike what I look like now. I look like a hermit at the minute that's been like dug out of a hedge somewhere.
Grace, this is when you take the microphone and you say, I love you, honey.
There's microphones there, baby.
No, I don't think she wants to. I don't think she,
Oh, he has gratefully given up the Speedos. she
I've still got
says.
them. I've still got them.
Terrible.
I get much about my knees now. So
that's a target to shoot. But
Yeah.
but we digress.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring pictures in next week.
So
Please don't.
honestly, that is not part of the safety that we like to promote at Caswell's.
I looked good. So much good.
Speaking of which,
Anyway.
on the things that make you cringe,
Things that make you go, boo.
Thanks, guys. Cheers for that.
Jose Canseco accidentally shot himself in the hand recently.
did? What?
And blew his finger off, and they cannot reattach it.
Oh, I'm heartbroken.
So-
I only found out who it was the other
Which
day.
digit?
I think it was the middle finger of his right hand.
I believe it was. And apparently I've got a quote from his wife here somewhere.
So let's
thank you for
see.
all the kind words and prayers. Jose is still in surgery and will be okay. Please pray for his finger. Yeah, please pray for his finger. She said in a tweet posted to his account. Bless his little cottons.
So
Apparently the gun went off.
okay, so here's okay. This is terrible. So apparently he was cleaning his gun and it was loaded.
See, this goes back to the sign that we have on the range by the door that says "Don't bring a loaded gun in the range."
I know, and we get a lot of flack for that.
Yeah. And we have the conversation with people. Why can't I bring my? I've got Facebook posts and emails and all sorts. Why can't I bring my loaded gun in the range? It's my Second Amendment right. I can take them into Walmart.
And
right?
that we don't support the Second Amendment right because we don't allow loaded firearms in the retail area. Well, we own and operate a gun store. Like, we're full supporters of the Second
How does that
Amendment
work?
right.
So you say to people, when you go into Walmart, you're not going to show somebody your gun. You're not going to get it out and wave it around the place like you're going to show me because you want to sell it to me.
Or because you want to test fit a holster,
Yeah.
which we encourage and we allow,
Absolutely.
but not with loaded firearms.
So someone will give me a gun and I'll say, "Is it loaded?" And they go, "No." So they give it to me and I'll take the loaded magazine out and put that on the counter and I'll rack it and the bullet will go bouncing across the counter.
Yes, it is loaded. Oh,
Yes,
I
it's loaded.
didn't realize.
Yes.
Forgot it was loaded.
Yes, well, perhaps load it on your way out. Bye bye. And we get people say, well, how will I defend myself if there's a robbery? So, you see
You're
Levi
in
with-
a
gun store. Yeah.
And
Do
I
you see Levi?
promise
Yeah.
you, our staff has been through considerable amount of training to be able to handle any situation
I,
that should come into
after
that store.
hanging out with your staff on Saturday, I was stylishly impressed and also slightly terrified at the same time.
Fantastic!
Because
That's what we're going for.
It works for us. Yeah.
I'm sitting there and I'm walking around, and no joke, for the last almost a decade, and I will say it openly on the air, I have literally been shooting blanks.
Right.
Yes. I mean, the six guns, we're
Yeah.
doing stunt shows. No live ammo. But I'm walking around and I'm watching everybody's stance. And even Levi, I was teasing them. There was a young man, a little kid who came up and he wanted to know about the cowboy stuff. And I was talking. And I looked over at Levi, who had just come off the range, and he was getting a bite and getting ready to go back in. And I was spinning the 6 guns, and I looked at the kid, and I went, who do you think would win, though? I mean, I've got only 12 rounds. And I looked over at Levi, and I said, he's pretty hardcore. You know that guy is actually Superman, right?
Yeah.
And Levi goes, well, I do have a clip in my pocket that's 30 rounds, but who's counting?
Yeah.
That'll be Levi.
That staff is stylishly impressive. Like,
Thank
seriously.
You. And they take the I don't want to say seriousness of it because they're not stuffy about it, but they take it seriously, and they like to gear up, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, and it's always a fun competition to see if we can figure out who's carrying what where.
Yes. I said to one of the staff who shall remain nameless in another range, how many knives have you got with you today? And it took him a couple of seconds to count them in his head.
Have I met this gentleman? Because I think I know who it is.
Yes, you did. Yeah. You met him on Saturday.
I know exactly who it is.
And he came back after about 2-3 seconds or 5-6 seconds. He said 9.
I was off by 2. I got 7.
Yeah, 9. I said, where have you got them all? He said, Then he started telling me. That's very imaginative. I'm impressed.
Well,
and unpleasant.
There's all kinds of things where you can strap things to you. So you see a lot of that stuff in the movies, right? With the girl with the katana sword down her back underneath her ponytail in the Kill Bill series and all that. But some of these things I'm actually trying out right now. So I've ordered. I'd like to do that. I'd like to do that to try it out so that we can really sell it to the staff. So there's this Under Armour concealed weapon. Like underwear, and it's touted as being used by the FBI and the CIA and Homeland Security and all this. So I've ordered the T-shirts, tank tops, underwear, and stuff like that to see. And the underwear is great because I'm not a fan of carrying a gun at your back. I'm just not. A lot of people carry it the wrong way, and if you have to draw, you end up sweeping yourself. That's how accidents happen.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was watching a YouTube thing with a trainer the other day. I was researching some training, and and it was on preppers. And the guy was teaching to sweep themselves, each other. It was ludicrous.
I know it's very
absolutely ludicrous.
It's so there's some correction that needs to happen, and as we educate the staff, you want to educate the public and say this is the possibility of this happening. So I'm not a huge fan of that, especially if you're shoved or pushed and you fall. You're going to break something in your own body falling on a gun like that. So, but they have this really cool, and the underwear is great because you don't have to wear a belt, right? So it's a concealable thing if you don't have to wear a belt with your pants or skirt. The T-shirt and the tank top is great because the holsters actually fits really nicely underneath your armpit, and it'll hold a full-size firearm.
I think I know what you're talking about. It's sleeved and sleeveless, and then there's mesh to wick the sweat so it doesn't get the grips wet while you're wearing it, and it goes nicely underneath button shirts and suit jackets.
Yeah.
I know exactly the holsters you're talking about. Ambidextrous, right and left.
It is. It's under both armpits, right? So very, very neat stuff. What I like about this company, and I don't think they've only been around for a few years, but it's really like Under Armour material where it's compression. So it's tight. And one of the things that you worry about when you're wearing, depending on what you're wearing, if you have a heavy gun, you don't want it flopping around all over the place, right? So you don't want your underwear falling off of you and you're trying to cinch up your pants, and because it's heavy. It is. And
well, that's why I carry a different gun to the one I started with now, because the first one was far too heavy. The M&P I've got now is really quite cool. What's the funny with that?
Well, I mean, just... okay, I know we haven't talked a lot about it, but it's very interesting to me how much of... And I'm not trying to shameless plug myself here, because I'm really not... No.
Go right ahead.
The single action stuff, the things that you can get into, it's the same as the modern style handguns and rifles and long guns. I have 2 words for you. Corset, holster.
Oh, you should see the tactical one that, right? There, God forgive me, I cannot remember the name of the company. I'll have to look it up for next time. But there is a tactical corset company out there.
Yes.
And it is so cool. It's been a while. I've posted it to our Facebook page, but it's been a couple of years.
If anybody wants something like that, just contact me. I will obtain it from somewhere. That's what I do. I find stuff.
I think they should contact you if they can find any of this stuff.
Absolutely.
There was a popular craze for women's fashion not too long ago. The bulletproof bra.
Oh yeah.
Well, there's many bra holsters. There's very common.
If you have the cleavage to be able to shove a gun between your two cannons, then that is great.
And happily I do.
And you're along with your wallet and your lipstick and all that
Absolutely,
stuff.
I'm there.
But
that's why
for those of us that are
that's why I'm late for work. I can't get up.
Smaller, more athletically built. That's how I'm going to put it.
Athletically built. That's cool.
Then it goes under the armpit.
I'm saying nothing now.
Yeah,
I can only get in trouble whatever I say next.
Actually, there's a holster out there that's called the. I can't remember the name. This is terrible. I'm having a terrible brain day.
Where does it go?
But the holster is actually a regular holster, but the clip that it actually would, where the clip is that would actually normally hook onto your pants, is actually a loop with a button on it, and it hooks right around the center of your bra.
I've seen those. Yeah, I've seen those before.
Yeah. And so it's very interesting. Not something that I would be able to do because as you're running or moving around, you have this like thing swinging from below your chest all over the place.
That's because you won't carry a small gun.
Well, this is kind of one of those things. I'd have to duct tape it down, ace bandage it around my waist.
I happened to see Carol Ann's taste in handguns last Saturday, and it was kind of interesting. Seeing her walk back there and open up the box. I don't want to say what it was, but all of a sudden I hear...
So excited!
It's the size of a house.
It was about the size, ironically enough, that's about the size of a 92. A Beretta. It's roughly that size. Yeah. And I'm watching her operate it, and she breaks out the magazine, and first she's checking the grip, she's checking her stance, and then I hear a little bit of the slide coming back, and I just hear... Don't take this out of context.
That's perfectly
But
fine.
it's really interesting to see these guys, how passionate they are. But she checked everything about it, how safe it is, how it feels in her hand. But the minute she started to pull the slide back, I swear to God, I heard the Homer Simpson, oh.
The action on that is so smooth.
So much good.
So much good.
And how many people have you heard describe a hollow point flowering?
It looks pretty.
He did. He said pretty when he showed me.
It's always pretty.
It was rather interesting. I can't describe enough about. Listen to me. Go to Caswell's and you'll get the same experience.
Absolutely.
Get up when the show is over. Get in your vehicle. Drive to Caswell's off of Stapley and the 60. Walk in. Ask for anybody. Don't say anything that spells out SWAG if Levi is your range officer.
See the poor guy.
And just hang out.
So bad.
He'll become upset with you.
But on that
happy note,
super sad note, I think we need to end the show
We do.
because it is Halloween.
Yes,
and I have a 2-year-old minion who's waiting to go.
You need to send me a picture of that. That's going to look so cool.
to.
That's yes, because it's Halloween. There's trick or treatery to be done.
Yes.
We have a boatload of sweets, I believe, to
hand out to kids. I love this holiday.
Throw to passing children. Oh, speak again, Grace.
Yes, we do.
Grace?
We have a crap load of candy. Sorry, can I say?
Boatload.
Boatload.
of candy.
Yes.
We're going to feed to small children.
After
we hand it to them and they go away.
What we feeding small Who are we feeding
I'm
small
not going to
children
feed
to?
them.
Who is that? Just an entertaining story. Years ago in the UK, we used to have a Rottweiler, big rock, 9 stone, which is 125 odd pounds, right? And over the road, I had a friend called Phil, and it's Halloween. So Phil phones me and says, I'm coming over. So I grab Rocky, who was the dog, so get the knock on the door, and I go, Rocky, kill, maim this figure, right? Because he's a big, dumb dog. Open the door, dog goes bounding out, ah! It's a little kid about 6 years old who got there just before Phil did.
God.
Rocky ran straight past him because Rocky's like that because he's a big dumb dog. That was a fairly entertaining experience.
Needless to say, Paul is not allowed to answer the door anymore.
No. I had no idea it was a small child. No idea at all. I thought it was
gracious.
Phil. And on that happy note, that will
Anyway.
amuse everybody, no doubt. We will be back next week.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween. And wear nice pointy hats like Grace's. Pictures
Please
on
be
the...
safe and sane. Please have patience with children when they come to your door. You have no idea who they are. We have groups of friends that they have kids that have autism or are just plain shy or anything. Please have patience if they're, maybe they have a nut allergy and they're trying to sift through. They're not being picky. You have no idea. Please have patience.
Just have fun.
This is a fun holiday for everyone. I'm very much looking forward to it. So safe, sane, patient, have a good time, and enjoy yourselves this evening. And we will be
Speak
back
to you next week.
Next Friday.
We will.
Thank
We
you.
might even be early next Friday.
I'm hoping so. Well, next Friday I won't forget to eat on Thursday, and
That'll be a plan.
I forgot to eat yesterday. So when we left for the range today, I was like, I got to get something to eat. We would have been on time, but I had to be in Chick-fil-A drive-through.
If she forgets to eat again, ground her one day from the range.
Good
no actual range time, no rounds down range,
Yeah, good
no
plan.
guns.
Yeah. So that looks like I'll fire you. I will fire you so bad, so quick.
You can't fire me.
That's right.
Thanks for listening to Caswell's Shooting Show. For more info, just go to Caswell's radio show on the DoubleWideNetwork.com. Listen live worldwide every Friday at 4 p.m. and then on demand 24/7 as we shoot to thrill with Paula Bella and Carol Ann Ferguson. Caswell's Shooting Range.